as long as I have a leading coefficient of 1, that's 1x squared, right? As long as I have a leading coefficient of 1, I can ask myself this question right here. The majority of trinomials to factor that you'll see will have a leading coefficient of 1. I'm looking for two numbers whose product is 15 and whose sum is 8. So as long as there's a 1 in front of that x squared, I can say, I'm looking for two numbers that I can multiply to get this last constant term and add to get this middle coefficient. And once you ask yourself that question, you realize it's just a matter of considering a few things. In this case, hardly any at all. What can you multiply to get 15? 3 and 5. Do they add to 8? Yeah, got my two numbers. So positive 5, positive 3 are my two numbers that multiply to give 15, add to give 8. So I put them in as the constant values in my two values. Okay? With that in mind, let's look at these guys. Hey, first thing you ought to observe when you see a trinomial is the leading coefficient 1. Yes. So I can ask myself the magic question, what two numbers multiply to get 4 and add to get 7? Nothing. So what are we going to say about this trinomial? If prime. So we're going to say, hey, there's no answer in real numbers to that question, so we're going to declare this guy right away to be prime. How about that? Right off the bat, one of these guys doesn't have an answer, which is fine. Let me distinguish, ladies and gentlemen, between something that doesn't have an answer and something that's kind of hard to get the answer for. If you find a problem that's kind of hard to work, the answer is not prime, all right? Don't go for prime every time it's hard to work. Prime means there is no solution. Let's try this guy, see if we got any better luck.
7 and 2.
Okay, very good. Once again, we have a positive 1 as the leading coefficient. That's good, because if that's the case, I can ask myself the question. What two numbers multiply to give 14, add to give 9? 7 and 2. Or we could even be more specific. Positive 7 and positive 2. So here we go. X plus 7, X plus 2, in either order, of course. In either order because of what property?
Distributed.
What says? What? Commutative. Commutative says the order doesn't matter if I'm multiplying or adding stuff. So in either order is fine. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Let's try this. Uh-oh, I got a negative number in there. But you know what? If the leading coefficient is still 1, I can still ask myself that question. What two numbers multiply to give positive 20, but add to give negative 12? Don't answer that. All right. Because I want to ask you a question. What kind of numbers multiply to give a positive number?
2 negative.
2 positive or 2 negative?
2
Y'all see
negative.
that? If I'm going to multiply two numbers and get a positive product, the only way that can happen is if they're both positive or both negative. And you know by this sign that they're both going to be negative. In fact, you can judge a trinomial this way. If the last sign is positive, my signs are going to be the same. They're going to be either both positive or both negative. If the last sign is positive, they're both the same. That'll tell you what they both are. So one thing I know immediately is I got an x minus and an x minus. All right, now let's look for our numbers. What two numbers can I multiply to get positive 20, add to get negative 12?
10 and 2.
Negative 10, negative 2. All right? Hey, negative 10 times negative 2 is positive 20. Negative 10 plus negative 2, negative 12. And since you're going to have a lot of time, you could go ahead and FOIL that thing out and just verify to yourself that this is exactly what you're going to get. So let's try this guy. Hey, this guy's got a negative at the end. And a negative in the middle. But leading coefficient is still 1. Leading coefficient is still 1, so are we still going there? Alright, leading coefficient is still 1. You do not want to see me bust a move. Alright, leading coefficient is still 1, so I can still ask myself the same question. What two numbers multiply to give negative 35 and to give negative 2? Do not answer that. Alright. Let's talk about the first question first. What two numbers multiply to give negative 35? What kind of numbers multiply to give a negative product?
Positive and a
Positive,
minus.
negative. That's it. If I'm multiplying two things and I get a negative result, one of them's got to be positive, one of them's got to be negative. Since these guys are identical, I can go ahead and assure myself that one is positive and one is negative. So I'm looking for two numbers now. Multiply to give negative 35, add to give a negative 2. I need signs with them. What do you got?
Like 5.
Positive 7, negative 5? No? No, I got
Positive 5, negative 7.
Positive 5, negative 7?
Yes.
Because they have to add up to
Negative 2.
negative 2. So the larger one, the one with the larger absolute value, has to be negative. So since they add to negative 2, I want my more dominant number to be negative. Hey, you know what? If you put x minus 5 and x plus 7, and you go back and check it, and you got the opposite of the middle term, just switch the signs.